This is the new iPad Pro 11-inch with the M4, and this is the new Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra, which obviously is way bigger for starters. It's 14.6 inches, although that is the same as last year. What's changed, well, I think the headline change, is this new anti-reflective coating. You can see how it diffuses my little studio light there. So this massive Android tablet is the brand new Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra. They finally refreshed their flagship tablets. We've got a new S10 Plus and an Ultra, although no change to the S9. That will remain on sale. So going forward now, from October 4th when these go on sale, you've got the Tab S9, which they've carried over, the new Tab S10 Plus, and this big dog, the Tab S10 Ultra. And I would go as far as to say these are the best Android tablets you can buy. I say Android because obviously most people buy iPads, right? They're far more popular. But the problem with iPads is you have to be within their closed iPadOS ecosystem. Yes, it's very well optimized for tablet screens and the App Store is lovely. But if you want DeX, if you want Galaxy AI and don't want to wait for Apple Intelligence when it eventually rolls out, and if you want some proper multitasking with 3 apps side by side and even a 4th one floating on top, arguably, this is a much more productivity-driven device. And also, I love the fact that we have this 16:10 aspect ratio. For watching movies, for films, for having 2 apps side by side, this size, especially at 14.6 inches, and this aspect ratio, it really does offer something a bit different to a normal iPad. So what is new with these new Tab S10 tablets? Well, first thing you're going to notice is this anti-reflective coating, borrowed from the S24 Ultra, which I'm told reflects less than 2% of ambient light versus 4.5% that we had with last year's S9s. And combined with their vision booster tech, which intelligently boosts the brightness and contrast and tones depending on the environment, we have a 120Hz refresh rate and it supports HDR10+, although because it's Samsung we don't get Dolby Vision. I mean, considering how fundamental the screen is, especially on a tablet this big, having this slightly mattified screen with this anti-reflective technology just makes all the difference for watching TVs and movies or playing games. So for me that is the headline, but we also have a new chip. All Tab S10s come with the Mediatek Dimensity 9300 Plus, which Samsung say offers an 18% faster processor, 28% faster graphics, and a 14% faster neural engine versus the Snapdragon chip we got last year. Now I know what you're thinking, Mediatek, what's going on there? Obviously normally we have Snapdragon chips in Samsung devices, and then sometimes outside the US and other regions globally we have their own Exynos chips, but no, they've gone with the 9300 Plus, as I almost drop it there. And to give you a bit of an idea of performance, if I run Geekbench 6 and also the 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme on both the S24 Ultra with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, they're actually very similar in terms of performance. So considering the previous Tab S9s use the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, effectively, in terms of performance, at least in those tests, we are now getting an 8 Gen 3 level of performance in these new guys. Now I have actually only had a few days with this so far, so this is more of a first look video than a full in-depth review, but if the chip in the Vivo X100 Pro is anything to go by, the battery on that thing is nuts. It actually just won my battery rundown test. That's got the 9300. This has the 9300 Plus. So I reckon this may actually have been quite a smart move by Samsung. Really good performance, 8 Gen 3 level, possibly even better battery life than we would have had with that chip as well. And not only that, but they've actually increased the size of the vapor chamber cooler that we have in here by around 50%. So with this new chip, with this improved cooling, we should get much better performance, particularly for games, and particularly sustained performance for those longer gaming sessions, or if you're just running more demanding apps for long periods. And it's paired with 12 gigabytes of RAM, or if you go for the top spec SKU with a terabyte storage, then 16 gigs. On the outside, the overall design hasn't changed significantly. It's a tiny bit thinner than the Tab S9 series, and they've also improved their Armor aluminium chassis, so it's about 10% stronger, they tell me. Aside from that, on the outside, not a whole lot has changed. We've still got this dual camera setup on the front, slightly juts into the screen, although it's not that big of a deal. And also we have a dual camera setup on the back, where you will also find your bundled S Pen. This does come in the box, which is great. Unlike Apple's iPads, where you have to pay extra for the Apple Pencil, we have quad speakers, Wi-Fi 7, and on the base you have the smart connector for connecting it to the book keyboards and the book covers, which I don't have with me here, but I would definitely recommend investing in either one of the keyboards. There's one with a trackpad, one without, and also a separate book cover with a kickstand. I mean, it's incredibly thin and light for the size, but it's still a bloody great laptop-sized screen that you have to walk around holding in your hand, and you'll get a bit of cramp in your thumb. So I would definitely invest in one of the accessories that let you, put it down. So, new anti-reflective screen. We have the new Dimensity 9300 Plus chip. We have the bigger, beefier vapor chamber cooler. It's a little bit thinner. They've made the chassis a touch stronger, still IP68 by the way. And that's about it in terms of hardware changes. Everything else is software. This ships with Samsung's One UI 6.1.1, which comes with all the fancy Galaxy AI features. And I actually really appreciate there is this separate Galaxy AI little tab within the settings menu, but you're getting things like voice summary with AI. So within the Samsung Notes app, you can record voice notes and then it can transcribe and even summarize for you. So if you take it to a conference or a meeting or your lecture at university, you can record the whole thing, have it transcribe and summarize it. And I wish I had this 10 years ago. They've also improved the Samsung Notes layout. You can have a split view now. We've got handwriting assist, which corrects and aligns your writing. They'll also be bringing out a math helper tool, very similar to what we've seen on the latest iPads, although that's coming in November. But I think the best bit is having the S Pen and the screen this big, and then taking advantage of some of the image generation tools. Sketch to Image is the new one with the latest software, so let's draw something. Let's just do this live. Let's draw a house. Why not? Everyone always draws a cat. Let's do a house. Let's make it 3D. Why not? Path coming out the front, maybe a tree here. Let's go with a sketch first. Generate that, and then you have a actually kind of terrifying house, but that's not bad. It's got the little pathway, got my tree. Honestly, this works so much better than Co-Creator on Windows. You've got Galaxy AI with Sketch to Image. You can also use the pen and sketch on top of other photos and create Gen AI images on top of that. It's very similar to what we've seen with the Galaxy Fold 6, which introduced it, and then now that software is coming to the S24 series as well. You've also got Circle to Search. You just hold on the home button bar at the bottom of the screen, and you can use the pen to highlight text, which allows you to copy and paste it, or even do live translations of it. And to be honest, just having a screen this big for using the S Pen and taking notes or doodling, it's very nice. And then when you're done, it magnetically attaches to the back, wirelessly charges, and it actually acts as a little bit of a stand, giving you a kind of nice sort of slight angle to your tablet when you're using it on a flat surface. And of course, being part of the Samsung ecosystem, you've got app continuity, so you can use the same app across different devices, quick share, and you've got Smart View, so you can mirror your tablet screen to your TV. Link to Windows, multi-control second screen, you can use this as a second screen with your Galaxy Book laptop, and of course also you've got Samsung DeX, and it gives you a bit more of a desktop interface for using your tablet. However, I don't know if I would buy this one, the Ultra, because I think it might just be a bit too big, 14.6 inches, because you've also got the Tab S10 Plus, which is actually very similar. The only differences are a slightly smaller, but still very big 12.4-inch screen, slightly smaller battery capacity, and you only have a single camera up here. You lose the main lens, you just keep the ultra wide. That's about it. Otherwise, same screen, same chip, same performance and cooling, and it's £200 cheaper. Now, in terms of pricing, these are very much going up against Apple's latest iPad Pros. The Tab S10 Plus will start at $999, with the Ultra here starting at $1199, so 200 quid more for this, and exclusively to the Ultra, a 1TB storage option, which also comes with 16 gigs of RAM. And both versions come with a 5G option as well, although that will cost you an extra $150. It is kind of surprising they didn't update the S9. That is still on sale side by side with these new Tab S10 Plus and Ultra options. So right now at least there's no change to the more affordable tablet options from Samsung, but if you want a super duper high-end, beautiful looking, and actually surprisingly powerful with the new chip Android tablet, then yeah, the new S10 Plus and Ultra are definitely worth considering if you've got deep pockets, because they're not cheap. But what do you reckon? Would you be tempted to go for one of these over an iPad? Any questions? Drop a comment below. I'll do my best to answer. If you enjoyed the video, a thumbs up and a subscribe would be fantastic. As my screen goes off, clearly it's time for me to end the video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.